Nina Sayers, a young ballerina with a singular focus of becoming the perfect dancer, is at a prestigious New York City ballet company, auditioning for the lead role in Swan Lake. As Nina dances, she performs beautifully, with the grace and technique expected of a classically trained ballerina. Her movements are precise and controlled, embodying the innocence and purity of the White Swan character. However, Thomas Leroy, the artistic director, is not impressed. While he acknowledges her technical prowess, he points out that she lacks the passion and sensuality required for the more complex Black Swan role. Thomas becomes more direct, telling Nina she needs to dig deeper, to let go of her inhibitions. He suggests she needs to release her emotional and sensual side, something that Nina struggles with. She's been trained to be perfect, to be the best, but perfection often means suppressing emotion, making Nina's challenge even greater. Despite his criticism, Thomas offers Nina the lead role in the production. The casting is a dream come true for Nina, but it comes with a caveat. She must portray both the White Swan and the Black Swan. Nina, though overjoyed, is also overwhelmed. She feels the weight of the role bearing down on her. This is the opportunity she's always dreamed of, but she fears she may not be able to live up to the expectations of both roles. The pressure is immense, but Nina is determined. Nina's life outside the studio is just as controlled and structured as her dancing. She lives with her mother Erica, a former ballerina who is still very much a presence in Nina's life. Erica is loving but also suffocating, constantly reminding Nina of her fragile health and keeping a watchful eye on her every move. They share a tense relationship, as Erica seems to treat Nina more like a child than an adult, imposing her own dreams and regrets onto her daughter. Nina's routine is grueling. She practices ballet every day, spending hours perfecting each move. She is determined to be the best, even if it means sacrificing a normal life. Her diet is restrictive, and her focus on her appearance is obsessive. When Nina is not dancing, she is constantly thinking about dance, seeking perfection in everything she does. However, this level of dedication has left Nina isolated from her peers. She has no real friends and spends most of her time alone or with her mother, who pushes her to be flawless. The pressure intensifies as opening night for Swan Lake draws closer. Nina's body begins to show signs of strain, her feet are covered in blisters, and she struggles to keep up with the demanding choreography. Thomas is critical, telling her she must embrace the Black Swan side of her character, something that seems impossible for Nina to achieve. She is afraid that she won't be able to let go of her rigid persona, and that doubt begins to eat away at her. The arrival of Lily at the ballet company introduces a sharp contrast to Nina's rigid, disciplined life. Lily is carefree, spontaneous, and confident, everything Nina is not. From the moment she steps into the studio, Lily captures the attention of everyone around her. She embodies the freedom and sensuality that Nina struggles to express, especially in her portrayal of the Black Swan. While Nina practices with intense focus, Lily seems to dance effortlessly, moving with a natural grace that appears completely uninhibited. At first, Nina watches Lily from a distance, admiring her style and the way she effortlessly conveys the darker side of Swan Lake. She becomes fascinated by Lily's ability to embrace the sensuality that Nina finds so difficult to tap into. As the two women begin to interact, Nina feels a growing sense of both attraction and competition. Lily seems to be everything Nina is not: bold, confident, and unafraid of exploring her sexuality. One evening, after a rehearsal, Lily invites Nina out for drinks. Nina, hesitant at first, agrees and they head to a bar together. The night is unlike anything Nina has experienced before. She lets her guard down, allowing herself to enjoy the moment. As they chat, Nina begins to relax, but the tension between the two dancers grows. At one point, Lily kisses Nina, and Nina, caught in a moment of confusion and desire, responds. The kiss leaves Nina shaken, unsure of what to make of her feelings for Lily. This encounter marks the beginning of Nina's internal conflict, as she is drawn to Lily but also feels threatened by her. As Nina's rehearsals continue, the pressure to embody both the White Swan and Black Swan begins to take a toll on her mental and physical health. Her body is sore from the intense practice, and she's barely eating or sleeping. The tension inside Nina starts to build, and her obsession with perfection becomes overwhelming. She is constantly consumed by thoughts of dance, unable to escape the pressure to perform flawlessly. During one of her rehearsals, Nina falters. As she attempts to execute a complicated move, her body betrays her, and she crashes to the ground. Her failure is a blow to her already fragile confidence. Thomas, frustrated with her inability to embody the Black Swan, tells Nina that she needs to let go and surrender to the darker aspects of herself. But Nina is terrified of letting go. She has spent her entire life controlling every aspect of her being, and the idea of embracing her inner darkness is terrifying. As Nina struggles with her growing self-doubt, she begins to experience strange and unsettling hallucinations. At times, she sees her reflection in the mirror, only to notice it distorting into something unrecognizable. Other times, she believes she is seeing someone else in her place, dancing as the Black Swan while she remains stuck in the background. These visions blur the line between reality and illusion, making Nina question her own identity. The more Nina tries to control her mind and body, the more she loses her grip on both. spiraling into deeper confusion. After the kiss, Nina is thrown into a whirlwind of confusion. She cannot stop thinking about it and the feelings it stirred inside her. She has always been focused on achieving perfection in her dance, but now she's faced with emotions and desires she hasn't allowed herself to experience before. As Nina continues to rehearse, she tries to channel the passion and sensuality she witnessed in Lily, but it is difficult for Nina to truly let go. She is caught between her disciplined nature and the raw, unrestrained energy that the Black Swan role demands. Lily continues to play an increasingly important role in Nina's life, both as a friend and a rival. Their bond grows stronger, and Nina begins to see Lily as the embodiment of everything she yearns to become: free, wild, and unafraid to embrace her sexuality. As Nina's rehearsals progress, she becomes more desperate to capture the essence of the Black Swan. Thomas, her director, pushes her harder, demanding that she find the dark, seductive side of herself. He believes that Lily might be the key to unlocking Nina's true potential. But Nina's obsession with Lily also grows. She becomes jealous of Lily's effortless charm and begins to suspect that Lily might be trying to take her role in the company. Nina's feelings toward her rival are a mix of desire and competition, making her more desperate to prove herself. The more Nina tries to embrace the Black Swan within her, the more she feels like she's losing control. Her perfect world is slipping away, and she's unsure whether she can hold on. Nina's physical and mental exhaustion grows as the opening night of Swan Lake approaches. The pressure to perfect both the White Swan and Black Swan roles takes a toll on her body. She practices relentlessly, pushing herself to the limit, her feet bruised and her body worn from the intensity of rehearsals. She is consumed by the desire to be perfect, but she's also terrified. Every day feels like a battle. She is fighting not only to dance, but also to keep her sanity intact. Nina's struggle intensifies as she becomes increasingly obsessed with her transformation into the Black Swan. During rehearsals, she attempts to tap into the darker aspects of the character, but finds herself unable to fully embody the raw, seductive energy Thomas is demanding. Her movements are still too controlled, too perfect. As the days pass, she grows more frustrated, questioning whether she will ever be able to let go. One evening, after a particularly grueling rehearsal, Nina feels a surge of anger and desperation. She tries to unleash her inner Black Swan with more aggression, but her body betrays her. She crashes to the floor during a pirouette, injured and exhausted. She insists on continuing, but her injury leaves her vulnerable, both physically and emotionally. Despite the pain, Nina cannot stop herself from rehearsing. She is trapped in a cycle of perfectionism and self-doubt. Nina's transformation begins to manifest in strange ways. She sees disturbing visions of herself, her reflection in the mirror distorting into the Black Swan. Her skin seems to darken, her features shifting as if she is morphing into the character. She becomes more and more detached from reality, unable to separate the dancer from the role. The line between Nina and the Black Swan begins to blur, and she finds herself questioning who she truly is. Her obsession with perfection is no longer just about dance. It's about losing herself in the process. The night of the performance arrives and Nina's anxiety reaches a fever pitch. As she prepares backstage, she is a bundle of nerves. She is determined to give the performance of a lifetime, but the fear of failing gnaws at her. Thomas, her director, pushes her to embrace the Black Swan fully. He tells her she must let go completely, surrender to the darker side of the character. Nina is unsure if she can, but she knows it's her only chance to succeed. When Nina steps onto the stage, she is the picture of elegance, the White Swan. Her movements are flawless, her portrayal of innocence captivating. The audience watches in awe as she dances with grace. But as the ballet shifts to the more passionate and seductive role of the Black Swan, Nina undergoes a dramatic transformation. Her delicate, controlled movements give way to something wild and raw. The darkness of the Black Swan consumes her, and her body moves with a primal energy she has never experienced before. However, Nina's mind is unraveling. Backstage, she imagines having killed Lily, but in reality, Lily is still very much alive and performing elsewhere in the production. Nina's perception of reality is shattered. She becomes lost in the performance, unable to differentiate her role from her actual self. She is both the White Swan and the Black Swan simultaneously, consumed by her duality. As the performance nears its end, Nina is at the height of her transformation, her mind and body completely taken over by the Black Swan. The final moments of the ballet arrive, and Nina gives her all. She is no longer just dancing, she is living the role of the Black Swan. As the performance draws to a close, Nina's energy is at its peak. Her movements are fierce and unrestrained, embodying the seduction and power of the Black Swan. The audience is captivated by her raw emotion and intensity. Nina is in the midst of her greatest triumph, but there is a sense of deep unease as she dances with all-consuming passion. After the final bow, Nina stumbles backstage, her body bruised and battered from the intensity of the performance. She is exhausted, but there's a strange sense of fulfillment. She has done it. She has given the performance of a lifetime. However, when Nina looks at herself in the mirror, she is horrified. Her reflection shows the Black Swan staring back at her, dark, dangerous, and distorted. She has fully transformed, but in doing so, she has lost herself. In a moment of quiet realization, Nina understands that she is no longer the innocent ballerina she once was. She has embraced the darkness within her, but it has come at a cost. Nina collapses, her body bruised from the performance and her mind fractured from the overwhelming pressure. Her death is inevitable, the tragic consequence of her quest for perfection. As she dies, Nina's face remains serene, almost peaceful. In the end, she has achieved what she wanted, perfection. But at the ultimate price, the Black Swan has claimed her and she is lost forever. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth recaps and reviews. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the hidden truths in every story.